Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we are tackling a topic that I think is responsible for more frustration, more wasted money, and just more tears in front of the bathroom mirror than almost anything else we cover.
Oh, absolutely.
We're talking about rosacea. And I don't just mean, the occasional blush. I mean the burning, the bumps that look like acne but are definitely not acne,
Right.
and that feeling that your face is just angry at you.
It's a relentless condition, and what makes it so emotionally draining is the unpredictability. You can have a good skin day, and
But
then
anything can set it off.
you eat something spicy, you get stressed at work, or you literally just walk outside into the sun, and boom, you're in a flare-up that can last for weeks.
Exactly. And the standard advice is always avoid your triggers, which is great, except when your triggers are, sunlight and
You
emotions.
can't avoid living.
You can't. So you end up buying a million products. You
Yeah.
get the green color correctors, the heavy barrier creams, and half the time they just make it sting more.
And that's the rosacea dilemma, right? You have this compromised, leaky skin barrier that lets irritants in, but you also have all this inflammation that needs to be treated.
And the stuff that works for acne, which is what people mistake it for, is way too harsh.
Way too harsh. You use an acne treatment, it strips the barrier, and that just makes the rosacea worse. It's a vicious cycle.
Well, the research we are looking at today, specifically a very detailed guide from Era Organics titled Hypochlorous Acid for Rosacea, it proposes a way to break that cycle. But I have to admit, when I first saw the name of the ingredient, I paused. Hypochlorous acid, or HOCl.
It doesn't sound very soothing, does it?
It sounds like something I'd use to clean my shower, not my reactive face. Usually when we talk about acids in skincare, glycolic, salicylic, we're talking about exfoliation.
Burning off dead skin cells.
Right. If I put glycolic acid on a rosacea flare, I'm going to be screaming, why is this one different?
That is the million-dollar question. And the answer, it really requires us to look at biology, not just chemistry. Hypochlorous acid isn't an acid in that exfoliating sense. It's actually a molecule that is native to the human body.
Wait, native? As in, I'm making it right now.
You are, right this second. It's produced by your white blood cells, specifically your neutrophils.
My immune system cells.
Yep. When your immune system detects an invader, a bacteria, a virus, a fungus, those white blood cells rush to the site. They undergo a process called the oxidative burst.
That sounds intense.
It is, on a microscopic level. Your cells essentially combine salt, water, and electricity to generate hypochlorous acid. This molecule is your body's primary defense weapon.
So it's what our bodies use to kill pathogens on contact.
It is.
Okay, so it's a weapon. It kills bacteria. But if it's powerful enough to kill bacteria, why isn't it hurting my skin cells? That's the part I don't get. Bleach kills bacteria, but I'm not putting bleach on my face.
And that is the crucial distinction. Bleach sodium hypochlorite is alkaline, it's corrosive, it just destroys everything. Bacteria, healthy tissue, all of it.
The works.
Hypochlorous acid is different because it's uncharged and it has a neutral pH.
So it's gentle.
Surprisingly gentle. But more importantly, it's what we call non-cytotoxic to human cells.
Meaning it doesn't kill them.
Right. Because our cells are part of the same system that creates it. They have enzymes that can neutralize it instantly if it gets inside. Bacteria don't have that protection. So to a bacteria, HOCl is a nuclear bomb. To your skin cells, it's basically just saline water.
So it's a smart bomb. It wipes out the bad guys, but leaves the civilians, our good skin cells, completely alone.
Exactly. And for rosacea, that is the holy grail. You need something that lowers the microbial load on your skin without triggering that fire alarm of chemical irritation.
You said microbial load, and I want to double click on that because the source material goes into detail about what we're fighting on the skin, and it brings up a topic that, well, it made me itch just reading about it.
The mites?
The Demodex mites. Ugh. I feel like every time I read about rosacea, these guys come up. I know they're normal, everyone has them, but...
It's a gross detail, but scientifically, it is probably the most important piece of the puzzle for a lot of sufferers. These mites, they live in our hair follicles.
Right, in the pores.
In a healthy person, they're just a few, and they're fine, part of the microbiome. But in rosacea patients...
It's a population explosion.
A huge one. The source explains that in papulopustular rosacea, the kind with the bumps, the density of these mites can be massive. But here's the nuance people miss. It's not the mites themselves causing the problem.
Oh.
It's the bacteria they carry.
They're like little buses for bacteria.
Essentially, yeah. They carry a bacterium called Bacillus soleraceus. And when mites die and they have very short life cycles, they release this bacteria into your pores.
And our immune system sees that and just freaks out.
It freaks out. It launches a huge inflammatory attack to kill it.
And that attack is the flare-up. The redness, the swelling, the heat.
Precisely. It's all collateral damage from your body trying to fight the bacteria that the mites left behind.
Okay, so where does the hypochlorous acid spray fit in? Is it like killing the mites?
So it's not an insecticide. It won't wipe out the mites directly. What it does is break the chain reaction.
Ow!
It kills the Bacillus oleronius bacteria that the mites are releasing.
So you're taking away the trigger, the reason for the immune system to panic in the first place.
Exactly. You are sanitizing the environment. If you eliminate the bacteria, the immune system doesn't have a reason to launch that massive inflammatory response.
Yeah.
You stop the flare before it even starts.
Now, there's another term the source mentioned that I think is really important here. Biofilms. I usually hear about that with, like, plaque on teeth. What's a skin biofilm?
This is a huge topic in dermatology right now.
Yeah.
Bacteria are smart. They don't just sit on your skin waiting to be washed off. They secrete this sticky, slimy shield called a biofilm.
Like a bunker.
It's totally like a bunker.
And I'm guessing my gentle, milky cleanser isn't getting through that bunker.
Not at all. Even topical antibiotics often can't penetrate a mature biofilm. This is why some people have that chronic rosacea that just never fully clears. The bacteria are literally hiding.
But HOCl can get through.
It's one of the few things that can. Because it's a tiny molecule and it has a specific charge, it can penetrate the biofilm and disrupt it. It basically tears down the fortress walls.
That explains why it might work when other things haven't. It's actually reaching the source of the problem.
Exactly. It resets the microbiome in a way that standard cleansers just can't.
Okay, let's play devil's advocate. If I go to a dermatologist for rosacea, they're not usually handing me a bottle of this. They're giving me a prescription. Metronidazole, azelaic acid.
Or doxycycline, maybe.
Right. So if HOCl is so great, why isn't it the standard of care?
Well, it is becoming more common, but you have to understand the landscape. Antibiotics are the traditional big guns, and they do work.
But there are downsides.
There are. The source points out the cost of using them long term.
Antibiotic resistance.
That's a huge one. But also just side effects. Metronidazole can be really drying. Azelaic acid is fantastic, but a lot of people report a stinging or itching sensation at first.
And if your skin is already burning, the last thing you want is more stinging.
Exactly. The advantage of hypochlorous acid is that bacteria cannot develop resistance to it. It physically destroys their cell wall, so they can't evolve a way around it.
So it's a sustainable, long-term option.
It is. And the source doesn't say you have to throw out your prescriptions. In fact, it suggests they can work together.
How so?
You can think of your prescription as the heavy artillery you use during a crisis, and HOCl as the daily peacekeeper. Or if you're doing laser treatments for redness.
Oh yeah, a lot of people do.
HOCl is the perfect aftercare. The skin is raw after lasers. You can't put most actives on it.
But you can use this.
You can. It prevents infection, and it really calms that post-procedure heat and redness. It's actually widely used in professional wound care for that exact reason.
So I want to ask about the practical side. I've seen these sprays online. They look like water, and they smell a little bit like a swimming pool.
A very, very faint chlorine smell, yeah. But it dissipates instantly.
Right. But why are we only just hearing about this now? If our bodies have been making it forever, why wasn't this in a bottle 20 years ago?
It really comes down to stability. For the longest time, we just couldn't stabilize it in a bottle. You could make HOCl in a lab, but it would degrade back into salt water in a few hours.
So you'd buy it, and by the time it got to your house, it was just expensive water.
Pretty much. It's only in the last few years that manufacturing tech has allowed us to create shelf-stable versions that stay active for 12, maybe 24 months. That's why it's trending now. It's finally accessible.
Okay, let's get into the ritual. I bought a spray. It's on my counter. What do I do? The source outlines a 5-step routine, and there's one step I think I would absolutely mess up.
There is one step that is completely non-negotiable.
Okay. Step 1 is cleanse. Simple enough.
Right. Use a mild non-foaming cleanser. You want a clean canvas.
Step 2, spray the face.
Generously. Get good coverage.
And now, step 3, this is the one, allow to air dry.
This is where most people fail. They spray it, and then they immediately wipe it off or slather on moisturizer while it's still wet.
That's what I would do. I'm busy. Why is that bad?
It's all about contact time. The molecule needs, a minute or two to actually interact with the bacterial cell walls and to penetrate that biofilm we talked about.
So if you wipe it off after 10 seconds, you've stopped the whole process.
You've completely stopped it. You need to let it sit and evaporate.
Yeah.
So spray it, then go brush your teeth, Put on your pajamas. Give it that time.
Got it. Once it's dry, the kill phase is done.
It has done its job.
And then step 4 is moisturize. And the source was very clear. HOCl is not a moisturizer.
Oh, definitely not. In fact, if you just spray it and leave it, it can be a little drying. It's water and a salt derivative. It has no fats, no oils. You have to seal it in with a good barrier repair cream.
Okay, speaking of layering, we're all chemists in our bathrooms now. I've got vitamin C for the morning, retinol at night, niacinamide. Does HOCl play nice?
It plays nice with some, but it absolutely fights with others.
Yeah.
You have to remember the chemistry. HOCl is an oxidizing agent.
And vitamin C is an antioxidant?
Bingo. So if you mix an oxidizer and an antioxidant in your hand,
They'd cancel each other out.
they completely neutralize each other. You're turning your expensive vitamin C serum into useless brown water. It won't hurt you, but it sure won't work.
So I'm just wasting my money. What about retinol?
Same risk. Retinol is very unstable. An oxidizer can degrade it and make it less effective.
Do I have to choose between them?
No. You just have to be smart about it. The rule of thumb from the source is HOCl first.
Always.
Always. Let it dry completely. Maybe wait another minute. Once it's dry, it's no longer reactive. Then you can apply your vitamin C or your retinol.
So that air dry step isn't just for efficacy, it's for safety with other products.
Exactly. But there is one ingredient it pairs beautifully with, niacinamide.
Which is great because niacinamide is in everything for rosacea.
It is. Niacinamide strengthens the barrier, and HOCl cleans the environment. They're a power couple. You can use them in the same routine, no problem.
I want to manage expectations here because when you are in the middle of a bad flare-up, you want a miracle. You want to wake up clear tomorrow.
Of course.
The guide provides a timeline, and I think it's important we break it down so people don't give up after day 2.
Right. It's not a magic wand. It is biological support. And the timeline is really interesting. It happens in phases.
Okay, so first few days, what am I seeing?
In days 2 to 5, the source says you will likely feel relief before you see it. The itching might stop. That tightness feeling decreases.
So it's calming things down.
It's taking the pressure off the skin. But you'll still look red.
Okay, so when does the red start to go away?
That's more like weeks 1 and 2. That's when the erythema, the redness, starts to break up a bit. The bumps begin to flatten. But the real magic, according to the source, happens in weeks 3 and 4.
What happens then?
That's when the barrier repair really kicks in. The source cites studies showing HOCl accelerates something called reepithelialization.
Fancy word.
It just means skin healing. It helps your barrier cells, your keratinocytes, move faster to close up the gaps in your damaged barrier.
So you're not just killing bacteria, you are actively rebuilding the wall.
Yes. And there's one more layer to this that just blew my mind. The source mentions that HOCl actually downregulates inflammatory genes.
Whoa, okay, unpack that. We're talking about DNA now.
We are. The research shows it affects genes like NOS2 and PDGS2. Think of inflammation like a volume dial on a stereo. In rosacea, that dial is stuck at 10.
Right, your skin is screaming even when there's no real danger.
And most products just try to muffle the sound. Steroids, for example, just mute the speaker. But HOCl seems to actually reach over and turn the volume knob down.
It's reprogramming the reaction.
It's modulating the immune response, not just suppressing it. That's a huge difference. And it's why by week 4, people often find they have fewer flare-ups overall. The skin has learned to be calm again.
That is incredible. It's so much deeper than just washing your face.
Much deeper.
Before we wrap up, there was one other condition mentioned that I want to give a quick shout out to. Keratosis pilaris.
Ah, chicken skin.
Yes, those rough, bumpy patches on the back of your arms. I have spent my life scrubbing those with loofahs.
Which just makes them redder, right?
Always.
Well, the logic for using HOCl on KP is very similar to rosacea. KP is a keratin plug in a hair follicle. But the reason it gets red and angry is because of mild inflammation and bacteria inside that plug.
So the spray helps there too.
It does. It won't dissolve the plug itself. You still need a moisturizer with something like urea for that. But it calms the inflammation. It takes the angry look away so the skin looks smoother while you treat the texture.
So we've covered a lot, from white blood cells to bacteria buses to turning down the volume on our genes. What is the main takeaway for someone listening who is just tired of fighting their skin?
I think the takeaway is a shift in philosophy. For decades, skincare has taught us to treat our skin like a war zone. We bomb it with antibiotics. We burn it with peels.
We try to beat it into submission.
We do. But the lesson of hypochlorous acid is that the most effective solution might be the one your body invented millions of years ago. It's biomimetic. It works with your physiology, not against it.
So it's not about fighting harder. It's about listening to what the body is already trying to do and just giving it a little more ammo.
Exactly. You're giving your skin the grace to heal itself. By removing the triggers, the biofilm, the bacteria, you're just clearing the path so your own body can do what it does best.
I love that. Giving your skin grace. I think we could all use a little more of that and a little less scrubbing.
Absolutely.
Thank you for breaking all of this down with us. For everyone listening, check your labels, maybe look into this gentle weapon, and as always, let us know how it goes. We'll see you in the next deep dive.
Stay curious.